Thank you for joining us. And before we get started with today's video, if you guys like what you're seeing and hearing from the Locked On Senators podcast, go ahead and hit like, smash the subscribe button so you can be the first to know about Sens content. Now, we're going to be doing a ton of these prospect profiles, so if you agree this is someone the Sens should look at or steer clear, leave your comment below so we can hear from you. Now, we got 64 of these, so let's get into it.
All right, coming in at number 59 on the Locked On Senators draft rankings for the 2022 NHL Draft, it's Matthew Poitras. Pilsy, we're going to your neck of the woods. The Guelph Storm is where he plies his trade.
Yep, a good Guelph Storm player, and I always love reviewing these guys. I haven't followed the Storm as much as I usually do, just because there's no Sens prospects, so we've been busier following the Hamilton Bulldogs, the Kingston Frontenacs, and teams out west, but they had a decent season, and they surprised a lot of people in the OHL, and Matthew Poitras is one of those guys that helped out a lot. 68 games played, 21 goals, 29 assists. He led the Storm in rookie scoring. He was 7th in rookie scoring in the entire league. So just a little bit better than BMB, who we just talked about there. And what I like about Poitras a lot here is he did everything for the Storm, Ross. You talk about a versatile player. Played center, played the wing, on the power play, killing penalties. He's all over the place, and that's what you need from a young player to prove, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to stay in this lineup. I don't care where you put me, coach. Just let me know when I have to get on the ice. But some knocks on him, Ross, are his size, 5'11", 172, so not a big guy. He tended to lose a lot of puck battles, and according to McKeen's Hockey, the profile they had on him, is he didn't really have a lot of explosiveness. So when you're a guy with his size and you're not able to kind of use that explosiveness to get around some of the bigger guys and you're losing puck battles early on, that can be tough to progress as a player.
His rankings through our scouts, Bob McKenzie, the highest on him at 41 on his mid-season list. Chris Peters has him at 43. Then Scott Wheeler down at 56. Elite Prospects at 60. And Craig Button at 78 on his list for an average of 55.6. Again, just like the last few on our list and the next guy coming up, missed the entire 2021 season. He was a 12th overall pick into the Ontario Hockey League. I'm excited for when we don't have to bring up where they were drafted to the level below, but it does have value when you're talking about a guy who only played 68 OHL games. Usually kids are at over 100 when they're getting drafted into the National Hockey League. He's a kid who models his game after Braden Point, Pilsy. And if he can be anything close to what Braden Point is at the National Hockey League level, it would be a win. He's a very smart player, and I think that's what's going to allow him to become an NHLer.
Yeah, and just like Braden Point, Ross, he's a great playmaker, and I would say he's a playmaker over a shooter. Didn't have a lot of shots, only 129 last season, but when he gets combined with great players like Sasha Pasajov, the Ducks pick, I was high on him. I think I gave him 4.5 stars last draft.
He was a slider. He went in the 3rd round all of a sudden. He might have been one of the last guys off our list.
I think he was, yeah, which every pick, I was like, they got to go for this guy. They got to go for him. But when...
once your Aturati take, once he was finally off the board, you changed over to Pastajov?
Basically, yeah. I was frustrated for a lot of picks, I could tell you that. But Poitras, he was stoked to have Pastajov on his team because they connected for a bunch of nice goals. And Jacob Barker from Dauber Prospects, another great site to use. He said he's an incredible hardworking player with a well-rounded skill set that he utilizes effectively in 3 zones of the ice. So again, a lot of these younger prospects, they're just offense. How can I make a highlight reel goal so the scouts will notice me? This guy does things efficiently in all zones of the ice, which coaches are going to take notice of, and scouts, they can definitely appreciate that too. Ross, I think Poitras could be one of those guys that plays a big role as a versatile 3rd-line center on like a cup contending team. Like he's one of those guys where you can have him as your 3rd-line center, but if there's an injury, he can bounce up and be a playmaker for some of those top guys. But he also has a work ethic where if he's not on the ice with some of the top scorers, he can be like, I'll figure my game out and I'll be efficient in other areas like killing penalties, winning those neutral zone battles and stuff like that as he gets a little more size. So I like Poitras here. I'm giving him three out of 5 stars, though, just because I think he's not quite the guy the Sens are looking for right now.
March 10th, 2004 birthday from Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Brooklyn, Ontario, native. And as you mentioned, a shorter, but he is growing. He was 5'9" when he got drafted the OHL, and now he's 5'11". You know, scouts love seeing that 6 next to the height, but still production right there. And 58 PIMs too, so he's not getting pushed around as a smaller guy. You know that those guys have to stand up for themselves a little bit more often, especially to earn respect in a new league. Well, he certainly did that. 21 goals, 50 points in 68 games. And even though Guelph disappointed in the playoffs, he still contributed 4 points in 5 games. You look at every level, man, different tournaments he's played in, always a point per game or better. Now, you don't love seeing this, though, Pilsy. A 6-0 loss as they were eliminated in 5 games, -4 in a 6-0 loss there.
But take a look at the game before. 5-4 OT loss, a goal, 2 assists, and +2, right? So
Yep.
he's able to kind of have both types of games.
Yeah, no question. You gave him what, 3 stars, did you say?
3 stars, yeah.
He's a 3-star guy for me as well. I just think, yes, I like centerman, but as we mentioned, the last couple of guys we did, they project better at center. I think the jury's still out, and he certainly could, but I think Matthew Poitras, where he's at right now, I think that maybe wing is where he ends up. We should mention as well, we always like to point out he's a right shot, and I don't know what it is, Pilsy. I feel like right shots are more rare than left shots. I'd like the official number here. I always feel we know on defense, but even at forward, I think that righties, they're a little bit more rare, and maybe that does help his stat going forward because the last couple of guys that we mentioned, both lefties. So that being said, Matthew Poitras, certainly a fantastic prospect for this upcoming 2022 NHL Draft.